This is the only dupe video you need to watch if you are looking for the best alternative of expensive niche perfumes for fall and winter. I'm reviewing Middle Eastern perfumes since 2023, owned around hundreds of them in my collection, and tested probably around 1,000 already. So today I gathered 27 tried and tested Middle Eastern perfumes that I am confident to recommend to you guys, especially for those of you who don't have big budget for niche perfumes. All of the fragrances that I'm going to talk about today are priced below $50. And since I'll be talking about 27 perfumes, I won't be explaining each and every fragrances in full details. I'll be describing them briefly as I have reviewed all of these fragrances in my YouTube channel in the past. Now, if you want a full in-depth review of any of these fragrances, just type the name of the perfume plus my name in the YouTube search bar. Now, let's dive in. I'm gonna start with the strongest in today's list. This is from Lattafa and this is called Badi Al Oud for Glory. Now, judging the bottle, this is a dupe of Initio's Oud for Greatness, and this is basically very, very close. This fragrance is all about oud and saffron. So if you're the type who only wears beast mode fragrances and you love animalic oud, leather, and saffron combo, you're gonna love Oud for Glory. In my opinion, this is leaning more masculine. So this is actually on my husband's perfume shelf, and I don't find it unisex. However, I know that there are women who can pull this off. Badi Al Oud, Oud for Glory, is my husband's favorite fragrance in his whole collection, by the way. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you are looking for an alternative for Initio Oud for Greatness. Next up is Farah by Paris Corner, and this is duping Initio's Side Effect. Now, this is a warm, spicy, almost like cherry kind of boozy scent that is very, very addictive. I find Farah as a very underrated fragrance from Paris Corner because not only it smells amazing, but it also performs so well. So I highly recommend it if you are looking for a very good dupe of Initio's Side Effect. This is a sweet, warm, spicy, boozy scent that is perfectly unisex. Now, another beast mode scent, Artisan Ethnique, once again by Lattafa. This is a dupe of Born to Stand Out's Sugar Addict, which I think is the best seller of the brand. Now, this is another warm, spicy, super sweet and thick textured gourmand that I think is perfect for fall and winter time. To me, it smells like a booze-infused cinnamon bun. Very addictive and gourmand. I find this fragrance unisex and extremely sexy. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of gourmands and extremely sweet and thick textured scents. Also, this is a beast mode fragrance. Next up is Date Caramel by Paris Corner. This is a spot-on dupe of Sticky Dates by Lush. Basically, this smells like sticky dates and caramel. Very sweet and very gourmand. Perfect for this season, in my opinion. Performance is outstanding as well. Highly recommend it for all the gourmand lovers out there. Next up is Cream Velvet by Khadlaj. Now, this is the closest dupe to Bianco Latte that I have ever tried. I think the only difference that I get is that this is a more buttery version of Bianco Latte. So imagine an extremely buttery vanilla cookie that has also condensed milk. So yeah, having said that, very gourmand and very sweet. However, I love it because of its buttery texture. This one is very addictive and very close to Bianco Latte by Giardini di Toscana. Performance-wise, this is outstanding as it lasts more than 8 hours and it projects very well too. Next up is Vintage Radio by Lattafa. This is an aromatic, musky scent that I find quite calming and cozy. It is extremely similar to Initio's Paragon. And guys, even though I'm not a big fan of the bottle, the juice inside is gold because it's very similar to Paragon. And Paragon is 200 something euros for a bottle, while this one is around, I don't know, maybe now $30 to $40. So yeah, highly recommend it. if you're looking for a dupe of Initios Paragon. Keep in mind that this is an aromatic and mossy kind of scent. Very unisex fragrance. Performance-wise, it's above average. Next up is Cafe Latte by Khadlaj. This is a spot-on dupe of Mancera's Amore Cafe. I have tried a lot of Amore Cafe's dupe, and in my opinion, Cafe Latte by Khadlaj is the best. I love how sweet yet airy this fragrance is. It has coffee and sweet sugary notes. Definitely gourmand still, in my opinion, and it's perfect for fall. I find this fragrance unisex, but slightly leaning more feminine. When it comes to performance, outstanding in my opinion, lasts more than average. Next up is one of my OGs. I think I started my channel with this fragrance, Cult at Night by Attar Collection. And basically this is a spicy cinnamon cherry boozy scent of my dreams, and this is a spot on dupe of Parfums de Marly's Ojon. If the sound of syrupy cherry plus boozy scent sounds appealing to you, highly recommend you Alcohol at Night. Performance wise, I will say it's average, lasts around 4 to 6 hours, but if you overspray, it can last even longer. Once again, Cult at Night by Attar Collection, and this fragrance is unisex. By the way, are you enjoying this fragrance? Are you getting some value? Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel if you haven't already. Next up is a fragrance that I raved the moment I received it, Mahd al-Dahab by Arabian Prestige. This is a dupe of Born to Stand Out's Drunk Lovers. And basically, this is a fresh, boozy, warm, spicy scent that also has a beautiful chocolate nuance. This fragrance is so addictive. It is so perfect for fall. And I think this is one of the sexiest unisex fragrance that I own. And guess what? It's around $30. Once again, Mahd al-Dahab by Arabian Prestige, and I find it unisex. Next up is one of my favorite perfumes on a man, Soie by Fragrance World, and this is a spot-on dupe of Grand Soie by Maison Crivelli Oud Cadenza. Now, this is a full-bodied, warm, resinous amber scent that is perfect for men and women. In my opinion, this is slightly leaning more masculine, so I prefer smelling this on a man. However, I can always imagine a woman rocking this fragrance as well, especially if you love deep amber scents. This is one of the best ambers that I own. Once again, Soie by Fragrance World. All right, now let's talk about some OGs because we need a dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540, right? And the best, in my opinion, is Orientica's Amber Rouge. In my opinion, this is the best because it doesn't give me headache and it is truly spot on dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540. Plus, I also love the bottle of this fragrance. In my opinion, it looks very luxurious and it is definitely the vibe of the juice inside. If you're still looking for the perfect dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540, in my opinion, it's Amber Rouge by Orientica. Another oldie but a goodie, Oud Saffron by Orientica. Once again, this is a spot-on dupe of Lancome's Oud Bouquet. Oh, the most beautiful rose oud praline combo. I love this fragrance. I normally take it out during winter time because I think it's perfect when it's extremely cold outside. If you watch my channel, you know that I love roses in fragrances, and I just love how dark and mysterious the rose is blended with the oud, praline, and patchouli in here. Very beautiful scent. Once again, Oud Saffron by Orientica, and I find this fragrance unisex, and this one is a beast mode. By the way, this one too is a beast mode. Right, last one from Orientica is Velvet Gold. Now, this is very similar to my San Francisco de John's Gentle Fluidity Gold. However, the similarity I think is around 90%. I actually find Velvet Gold even stronger when it comes to projection. So yeah, if you're looking for a very good dupe of Gentle Fluidity Gold, I highly recommend you checking out Velvet Gold. This is a luxurious smelling woody scent that is slightly sweet. I love it so much. Yeah, highly recommend it. All right, next up is Nudo. I think this one is called Exotic, even though it doesn't really look exotic by Fragrance World. This is a very close dupe of Initia's Narcotic Delight. So, this is another sexy, boozy scent that I know a lot of you will love if you're the type who enjoys wearing boozy unisex scents. You will love this fragrance. I know the bottle looks very girly, but to be honest, the juice inside is very unisex. And guys, highly recommend it if you're looking for an affordable alternative to Initia's Narcotic Delight. All right, next up is my newly discovered Mahab by Nusuk. And this is a very similar alternative to Amouage Guidance. I recently reviewed this in my channel and I told you that it is 90% similar to Guidance. Like finally something that is very close to Amouage Guidance. It also has a rough opening, so keep that in mind. But guys, what is fascinating about Mahab is that it is extremely long lasting and the projection is quite beastly as well, especially if you overspray. So I am very, very impressed with this fragrance. It is 90% close to Guidance, so I highly recommend it if you're still looking for a good alternative to Amouage Guidance. Next up is Mirage Exclusive by French Avenue, and this is a spot-on dupe of Penhaligon's Bewitching Yasmin. Now, this is for all the warm, spicy, woody lovers out there. It's heavy in coffee and cardamom and also with that earthy patchouli. I love Mirage Exclusive. I raved about it the moment I received it, and I know that a lot of you bought it after my recommendation. In my opinion, this is one of the sexiest fragrance that I own as well. It is a serious fragrance. I will always see it as an alluring and confident fragrance. Yeah. Performance is outstanding on this one. This lasts more than 8 hours on skin and on clothes. Once again, Mirage Exclusive by French Avenue. Next up is Zodiac Lunaris by Paris Corner. And guys, I'm so happy because I finally found something very similar to my favorite Oud Cadenza by Maison Crivelli. Now, this is around 90% similar, and basically this is oud, patchouli, leather, saffron, sweetened up by caramel, sugar, and praline. It is a sweet kind of oud leather animalic scent. It is so beautiful and I love it because I find it very sexy and alluring as well. The similarity to Oud Cadenza is around 90%, so I highly recommend this, guys, if you're still looking for an alternative for Oud Cadenza. Performance wise, it's amazing, lasts more than 8 hours, especially if you overspray. All right, now how many left? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 more perfumes left. Next up is Dulzura by Paris Corner. This is a dupe of a very expensive niche perfume, Cirque du Soleil, and basically it smells like popcorn and cotton candy. A sweet gourmand that is very addictive, very fall and winter appropriate, in my opinion. I love it because it's a kind of gourmand that is addictive. However, it is not like sugary kind of gourmand. Dulzura as well has this buttery texture that I'm enjoying so much. The popcorn nuance is just in the opening, okay? So keep that in mind. This is more of like a buttery vanilla scent in the final dry down. Yeah, highly recommend it. If you're looking for a very cheap alternative for that Cirque du Soleil fragrance that costs more than $300, I think. Next up is another gourmand. This is Emir's Veau Patisserie by Paris Corner. Now, this is a spot-on dupe of Xerjoff's Italica. So if you want to smell like a marzipan, you know, a very sweet almond cake, then highly recommend you Veau Patisserie. This definitely smells like gourmand, and yeah, that is a description. Very sweet marzipan gourmand. To me, it smells like Christmas. So highly recommend it if you're looking for a very good alternative of Xerjoff's Italica. Performance-wise, this lasts around 6 to 8 hours with moderate projection. Another gourmand. Veau Zesty under the Emir collection by Paris Corner. Now, this is a dupe of Zerjov Kazamorati Lira. And basically, this is a lemon cheesecake. Yeah, a very addictive lemon cheesecake. Not too much on the lemon dough, more on the vanilla side. That's why I am actually loving it so much. And I highly recommend it because this is so beautiful, guys. A lot of citrusy vanilla scents out there that I find too screechy because most of the time the lemon is heavier than the actual vanilla, whereas with Veau Zest it's perfect. I highly recommend this fragrance if you're looking for a very good dupe of Casamurati's Lira. All right, next up is Cahiers Peach de Lulu by Paris Corner. This is a spot on dupe of Sarah Baker's Peaches Revenge. Now, I would say that this is 93% close to Sarah Baker's Peaches Revenge. It is very candid though, so keep that in mind. Sugared peaches and slight booziness. I think this is a perfect fall scent. It smells niche, and yeah, I find this fragrance feminine leaning. All right, next up is the very hyped Liquid Brun by French Avenue. This is a spot on dupe of Parfums de Marly's Altair. This is a beautiful cinnamon orange blossom with, I don't know, some caramel nuance. A very addictive scent. I didn't like it in the beginning. It is one of the very few fragrances that I like after macerating because I think in the beginning I found it too sweet and too ambroxan heavy. However, after months of maturation, I think it is more full bodied and the ambroxan is not that strong anymore. I highly recommend it. This is truly worth the hype. I understand why everyone's talking about this fragrance because it is perfectly unisex and it performs like a beast as well. Highly recommend it if you're looking for an alternative for Altair. Next up is Liquid Brun's brother, Azure Oud, also by French Avenue. Now, this is a very similar take of Oud Maracuja by Maison Crivelli. Basically, it's like passion fruit, oud, and patchouli, a strong, animalic, quite fruity scent. I think this is more masculine leaning, but I know there's a lot of women who can pull this off. In my opinion, this is 90% similar to Oud Maracuja. So I highly recommend it because I think this is perfect for fall and winter time. Once again, Azure Oud by French Avenue. All right, last four left. Crafted Oud by Maison Alhambra under the Zafiro collection. Now, this is a spot-on dupe of Carved Oud by Tamin. It is a warm, spicy, woody vanilla scent that I find very addictive. If you love woody unisex fragrance like me, you will definitely love Carved Oud. This will definitely be on my winter perfume tray. And yeah, highly recommend it, guys, especially if you are into woody scents. Don't be afraid with the name Oud in here because the oud that they use in here is very mild, not animalic, like, for example, Azuria Oud. This is very tolerable and very likable. I love the fact that it is woodier and it has a creamy sandalwood as well. So love it so much. Once again, Crafted Oud by Maison Alhambra. All right, guys, last three fragrances. Exclusive Tabac, also by Maison Alhambra. Now, this is a dupe of Carolina Herrera's Mystery Tobacco. If you're looking for a beautiful tobacco cinnamon scent that is quite unisex, highly recommend you Exclusive Tabac. I think this is a perfect sweet tobacco kind of scent that is very sexy on a man. I know I mentioned it's unisex. However, I prefer smelling this on my husband, but of course, I can imagine a woman rocking this fragrance. Highly recommend it if you are looking for like a sweetened kind of tobacco scent. Once again, Exclusive Tabac by Maison Alhambra. Performance is above average as this lasts more than 8 hours and it has a very good projection too. Last two from Maison Alhambra. This is Lux Blanc and this is a dupe of Bond Number 9's Tribeca. Basically, this to me smells like a caramel and cacao infused Baccarat Rouge 540. Very addictive and warm gourmand. I can imagine snowing when I wear this fragrance. There's something about this fragrance that feels very comforting and warm. So highly recommend it if the sound of like a caramelized Baccarat Rouge 540 sounds appealing to you. Once again, Lux Blanc by Maison Alhambra. All right, and the 27th dupe in today's video is Lux Nightlife by Maison Alhambra. And if you watch my channel, you know how much I love this fragrance. This is a spot-on dupe of Bond number 9's New York Nights. This is all about coffee, cacao, white flowers. I absolutely love it. It has a very prominent gardenia. Imagine that gardenia sweetened up by caramel and chocolate drizzle. A very addictive fragrance, in my opinion. Smells like winter as well. And I raved about this fragrance many times in my channel. This is one of my best discoveries this year. And yes, this will conclude the 27 perfume dupes that I will highly recommend this fall and winter time. Now, I want to know, how did you find the list? Or do you own some of these fragrances? Do you enjoy them or not? Let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know if you want like a spring and summer version of this, because I can do that too. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, guys. And I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Bye.